Subject Design of Concrete Structures, Chapter Design Philosophies, Topic Basic Design Concept of LSM and ULM. Now students, after telling you the need of LSM and ULM, now it's time to see the basic design concept. Again I am repeating, if you know the basic design concept of WSM, then this topic is just a cakewalk for you, right? All the you can say provisions, whatever the provisions we had in WSM will be used here also, right? But in a modified way, okay? So now first of all let us see. So LSM, I told you that it is of two types. First is collapse and second is serviceability, right? In case of ULM as well as in case of WSM, we did not have any provision of serviceability. Clear? So collapse, we had torsion, so sometimes we calculate torsion also. We have the compression that we are actually calculating. Shear, I have already told you how to know the shear, right? In serviceability, we have creep. I have told you what is creep. Vibrations. It can be due to earthquake or it can be due to a motor vehicle running near the structure, and some deflections. Okay. Now, what are the assumptions? First assumption is same. That is, the plane before bending remains plane after bending. I have told you what is the meaning of that. Okay. Now, this is important. This question has been asked many times in examination, that the compression in concrete and tension in steel. We assume that whatever the compressive stresses are there on a particular structure, those compressive stresses are actually counteracted by concrete only, and steel is just taking tensile forces, right? Okay. And we assume that the concrete below the neutral axis has actually cracked, because below the neutral axis we have tensile stresses, and we assume that the tensile stresses are only borne by steel, not concrete. That is why I assume that below the neutral axis the concrete has actually cracked. You pause the video, first of all note it down, and then you can listen to what I am saying. Okay. Now third one is, the maximum strain in concrete is 0.0035. This is an assumption, very important assumption, right? And the maximum strain in steel is 0.002. There's the proof strain, right? Plus 0.87 Fy. From this 0.87 Fy has come. I told you that in case of a limit state method, we design our particular member by dividing it with the partial factor of safety. And what is the partial factor of safety for steel? So it is actually 1.15 for steel and 1.5 for concrete. So what will happen is that if we divide the yield stress, if you will divide the yield stress with the partial factor of safety, we will be getting 0.87 Fy. So this is the stress divided by the Young's modulus of elasticity, right? Sometimes in question it is given to you. If it is not given to you, you have to remember that the Young's modulus of elasticity for steel is 2 into 10 raised to power 5 Newton per mm square. Very important. Clear? Okay. So that is how we have got the maximum strain in steel also. Clear? Now coming to the design strength of concrete. This question has also been asked in many examinations. This is also important. That what is the design strength or the design stress in concrete? So we have 0.67 FCK. How 0.67 came? I told you it is the shape and the size effect, right? So 0.67 FCK divided by the partial factor of safety 1.5, right? That is 0.446 FCK. This is also important. Now sometimes in interviews it may be asked you that why the partial factor of steel is less and why the partial factor of concrete is more, right? So it has a concept actually, okay? So it was not a fluke that we used this partial factor of safety. Actually, you know that concrete is actually casted at site, right? So at site we can have a lot of, you can say, deviations from the standard operating procedures. But as far as the steel is concerned, so steel is manufactured in plants or in factories. So you can say the deviations from the standard operating procedure can be very less, and that is why we have the less partial factor of safety, but for concrete it is more, because we can have a lot of error at site. Clear? Okay. Now this is the stress versus strain diagram of concrete. So this was for FCK. Now we have assumed it to be parabolic, not straight. Up to here it is parabolic, and then here it is straight. Then here parabolic, then straight. Up to here it is parabolic, then straight. Clear? Okay. So, but in WSM we assumed it to be a straight line. Okay. This is FCK. This is 0.67 FCK. The shape factor and size factor, they are divided by 1.5. The partial factor of safety of concrete, that is 0.446 FCK. Clear? Now let us understand about the few other designing aspects. Let me rub this first of all, and let me take one singly reinforced beam. Let me take, right? The same thing which we did in WSM, I will be doing here also, right? So I will be telling you, so what are the values that we are getting actually, okay? So now let's come to the values. This is important, right? So let us say that I take a singly reinforced beam, right? Let us say that I take a singly reinforced beam. The singly reinforced beam. This is somewhere here in the neutral axis. This is the B of the beam, and this is the effective depth of the beam, D, small d, up to here. The center of the reinforcement. This is a strain diagram. This is a strain diagram, right? And this is the stress diagram. So this is the neutral axis. Somewhere here we have the neutral axis, right? This is initially parabolic and then straight. Why? Because I drew. It is initially parabolic and then straight. Then it is parabolic from here and it is straight, right? Okay. So what is the maximum stress in concrete? That is 0.446 FCK. In some books you will find it 0.45 FCK. Does not matter. All are the same thing, right? So what is the maximum strain in concrete? Let me use another marker. The maximum strain in concrete is 0.0035, and up to the parabolic part, up to this parabolic part, how much was the strain? 0.002, known as the proof strain, right? Up to this parabolic part, it is 0. Let me write it here. It is 0.002. Clear? This is the neutral axis. Let us say XU is the neutral axis, and this will be equal to D minus XU. D minus XU, or the maximum neutral axis, ultimate neutral axis. Always remember, whenever we are comparing the strain diagram, we get the maximum or ultimate neutral axis. And whenever we are doing the static equilibrium, that is C is equals to T, we are getting the natural neutral axis. I told you each and everything in WSM also, right? So, and what is the maximum strain in steel? That is 0.002 plus 0.87 Fy divided by ES. ES is actually 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square, right? Okay. Now let us see. Now let us say that up to this portion, let us say it is x2. Up to this portion, let us say it is x1. Clear? So we have to calculate this also, right? Now first of all, let us calculate x2 and x1, right? So now in this triangle, can I write it like this? That it can be like this. Okay, now in this triangle, that is 0.0035 divided by this, that is xu. It will be equal to how much, right? It will be equal to x2 divided by, sorry, 0.002 divided by x2. Clear? Okay. Because this triangle and this small triangle both are similar. Angle is equal. 90-90. So from by the AAA property, these two triangles are similar, right? So x2 will be equal to how much? 0.002 divided by 0.0035 into xu. So if you solve it, your x2, it would come out to be nearly 4 by 7 of xu. 4 by 7 of xu. Your x2 will come out to be nearly 4 by 7 of xu, right? If this is 4 by 7 of xu, how much this will be equal to? This will be 3 by 7 of xu, simple, right? So x1 will be equal to xu minus 4 by 7 of xu, that is 3 by 7 of xu. Because x1 plus x2 will be equal to xu. Because x1 plus x2, it is actually equal to xu. Clear? So we have got the value of x1 as well as the value of x2. That is up to x2 is how much? 4 by 7 of xu. x1 is 3 by 7 of xu. Up to this distance it is parabolic, and up to that distance it is straight line. Clear? Now let us determine the ultimate neutral axis. How much will it be equal to? So what we have to do, we have to compare the strain diagrams, right? Now let us compare the strain diagrams. So this triangle versus this triangle. So that is 0.0035 divided by xu, it will be equal to this strain, how much? 0.002 plus 0.87 Fy divided by ES, 0.87 Fy divided by ES, and divided by, that is D minus xu. Clear? So if you solve it and put the value of ES as 2 into 10 raised to power 5, right? And you will have different values of Fy. Fy will be equal to 250 Newton per mm square for Fe250. It will be 415 Newton per mm square for Fe415, and it will be equal to 500 Newton per mm square for Fe500. So if you solve it, so you'll be getting some values. That is, Xu will be equal to 0.53D for Fe250. It will be equal to 0.46D for 48D for Fe415, and it will be equal to 0.46D for Fe500. So these are the values of XU which we will be getting. So this is very important. Directly questions are asked in examination. So this is the ultimate neutral axis. Ultimate, not natural, ultimate neutral axis. For natural, what we have to do? We have to compare the stress diagrams, right? We have to compare the stress diagram and we have to see whether C is equals to T. Clear? Now let us calculate the total compressive force. Now let us calculate the total compressive force, right? Okay, I hope that you have getting it. It is just a cakewalk now, a cakewalk for you now, because we have already discussed about the WSM also, right? Now let us calculate the total compressive force. I told you that if from a stress diagram you need to calculate the force, what you have to do is that you have to take the area of that stress diagram. Simple, right? Now total compressive force C. So total compressive force, that is C, right? That will be equal to C1 plus C2. Now let us say this is C1 and this is C2. For parabola it is C1, for parabola it is C1, for rectangle it is C2. Rectangle it is C2. What will be the area of parabola? Because total compressive force will be equal to area of the stress diagram, right? So it will be equal to 2 by 3 into base. Base is how much? 4 by 3, 4 by 7xu. 2 by 3 into base into height, this much, right? How much this will be equal to? This will be equal to 0.446 FCK. 0.446 FCK. But this is Newton per mm square. This is mm, so it will get cancelled out and give you Newton per mm. There is one unit of length still required, and that will be equal to width of the section B. Plus, for rectangle, it is length into width. How much is length? 3 by 7 XU multiplied by width is 0.446 FCK. It is still Newton per mm, so we have to multiply it with B also. Clear? So if you solve it, the total compressive force would come out to be nearly 0.36 FCK into XU into B. This is the total compressive force which will come out to be. This is very, 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 very important, students. Very, very, very important. Clear? And what will the total compressive force for steel? For steel, it will be equal to 0.87 Fy into AST. If you compare these two, if you put C is equals to T, for static equilibrium case, you will get the value of XU, and that XU will be the natural neutral axis, not your, you can say, ultimate neutral axis, that is natural neutral axis. Clear? Okay. Now, one more thing is that, one more thing about which we also discussed in the WSM also, about the under reinforced, over reinforced, and the balance section. So if the critical neutral axis, it is smaller than the ultimate neutral axis, right? If the critical neutral, let me write it here. If the critical neutral axis, you can say this is the critical neutral axis, XU, right? Or natural neutral axis, if it is smaller than the ultimate neutral axis, it is under reinforced. And in under reinforced, the moment of resistance is with respect to steel, not concrete. If the natural neutral axis is greater than the ultimate neutral axis, it is over reinforced. It is over reinforced, then the moment of resistance has to be calculated with respect to concrete. Clear? And if Xn is equals to Xu, it is a balance section, you can calculate the, you can say, moment of resistance with respect to anything, either with respect to, you can say, concrete, or with respect to steel, right? Now let us understand about the, you can say, because this is a parabola and rectangle, right? The stress diagram. So this compressive force C will be acting somewhere. It will be acting somewhere, right? How to calculate that? Now location of C. Now location of this C, compressive force, right? So we have C1, C2 will be acting here, and C1 will be acting here. There will be a total C which will be acting somewhere. So whatever distance, let us say that the distance is y. Let us say it is acting at a distance of y. I don't know where it will be acting, right? So I told you that C into y, so we have to calculate the moment, will be equal to C2 into half of 3 by 7 of XU, half of 3 by 7 of XU. Clear? Why? Because this will be acting at the center of this rectangle, and center of the rectangle is half of the height. So 3 by 7 of XU, half of 3 by 7 of XU, right? And plus, so we have the parabola, right? So that will be equal to C1 multiplied by, this is X1, you can say it is 3 by 7 of XU, and plus this much of distance. So at which distance it is actually acting? It is actually acting at a distance of 1 by 3 or 1 by 8 of XU, right? Okay, so so 3 by 8 of, that is 4 by 7 of XU. Clear? So if you solve it, I'm not going in detail in that. If you solve it, you know the value of C also, that is 0.36 FCK into XU into B. If you solve it, you will get a value of Y that will be equal to 0.42 XU. 0.42. It means that at a distance of 0.42 XU, that will be equal to 0.42 XU, this whole force capital C will be acting somewhere here. That is will be equal to 0.42 XU. Now let's come to the lever arm. I am going very fast because I have taught you everything in WSN. The lever arm will be equal to D minus Y, right? That is D minus 0.42 XU. D minus 0.42 XU will be the lever arm. So if you have to calculate the moment of resistance, you have to calculate the moment of resistance will be equal to C into Z or T into Z, depending whether it is under reinforced or over reinforced. Clear? So I hope that you have understood about the basic design concept of LSM and ULM. So that is how we are designing our LSM and ULM. Clear? So in the subsequent lectures, I will be explaining all the things, the design and everything in detail, right? Yeah, I was a little bit fast here because I have taught you each and everything in WSM, right? So it was a, you can say, repetition of WSM, but in a modified way. Clear? If you know the assumptions, you can easily derive all these things. The thing is that here, the stress diagram is not linear, it is actually parabolic and then straight. Why? Because the stress diagram, stress versus strain curve of concrete was initially parabolic and then straight. So that is why. Clear? Now you must know, I would recommend you, right, that you first of you determine the centroid of this parabola plus this parabola, right? So these centroids you should make a table on in your, you can say, in your notes, right? When you are making notes, you should make a table. So centered of all these parabola, this hyperbola in each and everything should be written there, right? That is very important. Not just in concrete structures, but in the strength of materials as well as when you will design a gravity dam. There also that will be useful, right? Okay. So this is very important. So all the centroids should be written here in your notes. Clear? So let's meet at the next lecture and understand all these terms in the much more depth. Thank you.